Hi, Dav here, and today we have a new episode in the art review series, and today we'll be checking out the work of pixmilk. Now, they do have a very colorful, almost like past. I'm not even sure if I've mentioned this artist in the past, but F it, since we're here, we're just gonna discuss pixmilk anyway. But they do employ a lot of the pastel-esque colors. So essentially, what that means is it looks like the colors you would see in a chalkboard. You know how sometimes when you use chalk on a chalkboard, it's not always like a white chalk. Like it comes with a couple of colors. Those types of colors that end up on those like blackboards slash chalkboards, you will see those in their work. Like pink, purple, green, and it's kind of like also in a way a whole range of the color or hue spectrum, almost like the full range. And and with that, they do like it's all complementing their original sort of drawing or line work, which I think is the foundation of their work, right? The base, and then the other sort of thing again that sets them or that makes it even better is the choice of colors. Now, obviously, they know how to draw some nice fades, so that's always a good thing. So what's the description? So this is back, I think, on October. So I'm guessing Halloween. So it's a goth girl, and obviously they have some nice shaft feet. I'm not sure what shaft means, but if there are two things to sort of look at when you're trying to judge an artist, for me, it's usually two things. It's the hands and the feet. If you can draw both pretty well, like you're already in a different tier. I mean, the face obviously, but that's like basic. Everyone knows that drawing like a nice face, a good looking face is sort of gonna set you apart. But a tier above that would have to be the hands and the feet. But okay, one of my favorite pieces here. Let me just make sure this thing is on the new tab, because I think I'll be adding this in the YouTube thumbnail. Just because, I have my kinks. Oh, yeah. Okay. So they are using Clip Studio Paint, as you can see over here, based on the UI, right? Oh, is that Russian? Or it's one of those Eastern European languages? It looks like English, but it's not. Oh yeah, I've noticed there's also another artist. I forgot her name. Apterus something. Because I know I did an art review of that guy, but I think it's also of the Eastern European side, and they're also into like zombies. And I've noticed for my Eastern European brothers and sisters, like they're into like some dark shit, and they make fun of like death, suicide, like it's a normal thing for them over on that side of the planet. But well, first of all, maybe it's just Halloween, so I don't know, but it's an interesting sort of idea. Again, I do like their line work. It's they don't they do that thing where it's not always. Let me just open link a new tab, where it doesn't always go all the way, and there's sort of a looseness to it, a quickness to the lines. Let me just show you here. Right, there's like one stroke, and then sometimes it goes or just goes short of the other line, so just like space in between. But I just like the way this kind of line work is done, where it's sort of fast paced. I guess it just shows a lot of confidence if you can do something like quickly in one stroke. And I like it. I do like their line work. It reminds me also of another artist here on YouTube, Nips, Nips, or is it Nips, OH, Nips. When she does add her line work, she does have the same thing where it's kind of a quick line rather than a really soft, a really slow sort of planned thing. Oh, it's so cool, right? And the colors again. Wait, you know what? These are all Halloween themed. Let me just go to their more recent work if we see some changes. Oh, so this is the whole like art versus artist thing, right? So shout out to pixmilk, right? So based on their other artwork, that's not necessarily Halloween themed. I think they just like adding those hues. Reminds me of another artist. I believe she's Spanish, Marta Nael or Nail, Martanael. And they like really adding those like the full range of the hue spectrum. So so I tend to look. Oh, I'm glad he added this because I think it's one of his favorites. The one, this one, the zombie girl, the goth zombie girl with the feet out. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, and the line work, the sort of fluidness of their lines reminds me also a little bit of Yoneyama Mai. So we have Apterus or Arpertus something, Marta Nael and Yoneyama Mai, Onips. You know, I should write that down because sometimes I do forget adding these names in the description below. But oh, who's this? Yeah, so even if this one doesn't have as much like hue, it's a bit more toned down in terms of the amount of hues being used, but it's still there, the pastel-esque sort of vibe, right? You can even see it in like these Terminator lines. It's pink, and then the lighting from the background is green. So it's kind of a complementary thing too, because you know the complementary colors, they're basically two opposite sides, right? So in this case, you have some green in the back, and then you have essentially a variation of red for the body and the skin, right? The body is going to be like brownish brown, right? And this whole pink thing is still like they're both closer to red, and everything in the back, even this green, it's yellow green, but it's still, you know, within green. So whenever you think about these like color combinations, it doesn't have to be like the literal color. It could be like a certain variant of that hue, right? So yeah. Oh, again with the hands, super cool. Look at that. Even the lines do have their own color sometimes. I maybe they're using like a locked pixel layer to do that, or a clipping layer, right? But the line work does end up being part of the artwork. They don't usually paint over it. That's what I've noticed. It's not something to be usually painted over. Like the paint has or does go with the line work. And when they do the hair, I'm trying to see. Oh, this one, the hair is more of like a shape. I mean, there's a strong silhouette for both, but the way this one was rendered, the hair strands were drawn in, but this one, it's more like the approach is different. The silhouette is still there, but it's a bit more broken down into different like values or shapes. So this one's more common, I guess. Drawing the strands is a bit, I guess it's because it's tedious. It takes a lot more effort, but it's a possible way of doing things. Oh, nice shoulder here. I like this. Oh, and look at the organicness of the finger, right? It's so like, I don't know, it's just pretty. Again, the closest artist that I can think of who draws this way is Yoneyama Mai and Onips. They I don't know, it just feels more organic, number one, but there's sort of a quickness to the line, right? So I do like that. Again, with the colors, I'm not sure if they're adding like an overall texture in the end, maybe. But I'm guessing most of the textured look comes from the brush themselves, like whenever they add those pastel colors or paints. It reminds me a little bit of JoJo Bizarre something. I think it's an anime. Like the way the hairstyle or the face proportions, it reminds me of that. Yeah. And the anatomy, I like it, right? So here we have some line sketches. So they do have like I guess a pencil sort of phase. And then they do like I do like those slight bleeds too in the end whenever they do their lines. It makes it look a bit more natural. And it contributes to a quick look because whenever you draw with like one of these fine point pens, or whenever you're drawing on thin paper, when you end the stroke, it does like bleed on the end, right? So, but it usually happens when you're doing it fast. So if you have a line, kind of like a full line, everything in between is sort of like pulled. So now it looks really thin, but at both ends, it's kind of like really thick. So it just makes your art look, or your lines look kind of like quickly done. And if it's done well, it makes your artwork look way more confident, right? Pretty cool. And I do like how they fill up the background. Because for me, that's always a thing that I don't know how to do. Like, how do you fill up a background? Kind of like this. Like the foreground, I mean, look at the plants. They look pretty cool. And yeah, the color choices, I think they have, maybe they have like a set palette already, but it just looks so vibrant and very inviting. Even if the theme itself is like zombies or like death, like Halloween, it's so like you want to just be a part of it, right? So that's pretty cool. So let's just go further down because there's a couple of more here. I think this one was featured in their art versus artist sort of post. Oh yeah, they do shade a bit with the lines, right? They have some kind of hatching, but it's not the most dominant thing. You'll see it a lot in the trees, in the shadow parts, but I don't think they're using like ink for that. It looks a lot more like pencil. The strokes, they look like it was done in pencil. Well, in fact, for most of the piece, I don't really see that heavy line work. Maybe for the character themselves, the woman, just a bit, but it's not even in black. It's like colored in. Wait, let me go back to the zombie girl. Is it in black? Oh, I think I have it here. Yeah, it is in black. The lines are in black, but the lines in the background are colored. So it shows that sort of hierarchy. You're going to have to look at the character first, and then you're going to look at the background. Because obviously black is the heaviest value, but in the background, the lines in the background are a bit lighter. So there's sort of a hierarchy of focus there. People tend to look at the heaviest sort of values first, or areas with higher or highest contrast. Wait, let me see this. Oh, there you go. Kind of hot. Nice shoes. Oh, even the legs look so great. It reminds me of the fluidity too of Loish or Loish. Although she does simplify a lot of her figures, but that organic vibe, it's still there. I think for pixmilk, they do like to show a little bit more anatomy or anatomical details in the contour lines, right? Look at the, oh, pretty hot. Even the leaves, the way the leaves are drawn, the plants, the background, and the human figure, they're all kind of the same. They have the sort of quick, they're very shapy, very chunky. And it looks cool because everything looks drawn. You know, it's not like a, and it has a graffiti vibe where you see a bunch of random shit, but it looks cool. Right? Look at this knee over here. The amount of like colors, you have some green, some purple, some reds, some yellow, some oranges. It looks so wild and crazy. And of course, look at them dogs. Oh, we have some small people here. And the art feels very like conceptual. You know, there's like a hidden meaning sometimes. I feel like I do like the background, the train. Yeah, it just feels so like it's so drawn well. It's colored well. I like the artist. So freaking cool. And I've noticed for every like value, let me just open this in a new tab. They do like adding colors a lot to, like whenever there's a shape change, let me just show these lines. You know, you can call them Terminator lines or whatever, but every time there's like a value change, instead of just letting it leave or leaving it as a shape, they will define the edge sometimes with like a line. Here you don't see much of it, although even though you see a bunch of hues, there's not much line, but in some areas, they will really like add in those lines. And it's not always like a light versus dark thing. It's just like a stylistic choice. I do like it. So let's go further down. There you go. Look at that. Oh my god. And yeah, I also like their, aside from the feed stuff, just how full their images are, how lively they are. I don't see a lot of like white backgrounds in their work. Oh, maybe here, but the point is they can fill up a page very quickly, and it's so like creative. This one's kind of cool. Can we zoom in? I want to zoom in. Oh my god! I'm not sure if this is like a whip or work in progress, but right? The goddamn fuck! Oh, it's so over. Lots of details, definitely lots of details in the work. They do like flowers, a lot like vines, plants, and I guess you can see that like the way the plants kind of move, right? That organic vibe, you see it in their body as well, in the human figure. You know, the way the contour lines form, the folds of the, whether fabric or skin, the hair, right? Even the way the shadows are, sorry, drawn in. Again, focus here, Terminator line. They like adding this sort of pseudo lines in. Same thing here, right? It's it adds an extra layer of something. Oh, and they do shade with pencil. Sorry, hatch, but they don't overdo it because they do know they have to add color eventually. So you don't want to flood like each face, right? You want to leave room for, let's say, the coloring stuff later on, so you don't overwhelm the piece. So that's pretty cool. This one's nice. So let's go further down. Yeah, they're definitely into Sailor Moon, I think, looks like it, or their version, or it reminds me of that character from Sailor Moon. Oh, nice quads over here. Look at let me just. Oh my god! Again, the background nicely drawn in. Look at the colors, very pastel, very playful. It has a chalky vibe too, not just in terms of like the colors, the pastel colors, but also the texture. They're using some kind of pastel brush or pastel adjacent brush to achieve this sort of effect, right? I like it. Like it almost looks like it was done with crayon, some kind of dry media sort of tools. Looks really good. It's hot. Let's check this one out. Pretty cool. Nice feet, nice hands, nice everything. Oh, is the baby being thrown? Oh no, this one's, you don't see much color here, but let me just open this in you. Oh my god. Demon girls, always a hot subject to draw. Oh god. I think she just, well, the guy's dead. I'm not sure if he was always dead, or maybe she like sucked the life out of him, or just, you know, sucked his soul out. So now it's like a skeleton. And her knees like in her freaking, oh, maybe he's dead because of her, I'm guessing. So, and she has like these like demon babies around her. But again, look at the line work, the form. It's so like, oh, in this case, the line is in black. They haven't colored it. So it looks very comic-ish, right? But you will still see sort of these pencil, I'm not sure if it's like the rough sketch, but they will shade it with some kind of like softer pencil brush, right? You will see the Terminator lines here. They'll do like a soft shade. You'll see it in the hair too, right? So it looks like both an ink and a pencil. Like you can clearly see the more inked parts, right, in the contours, but under that they have like a pencil layer where they'll shade in these Terminator lines, and obviously like in the shade stuff like this. So it has an ink / pencil look, but the coloring is fairly simple, meaning it's like one value, but there's like a gradient. It's darker here, and then it gets lighter as you go here. It gets more purple here, or violet, and more greener at the bottom. For the demon herself, I don't see a shift or some kind of gradient. It's just like one value for the most part. Basically a flat approach, or coloring via flats, meaning you just have one color underneath the line work. So there you go. Still hot. Still hot. Oh, I guess they were a bit more simplified in their color choices before, but the approach was still the same fundamentally in terms of like the line work that they like to do and that sort of pencil thing they do underneath. You can see this here, right? The ink parts are obvious, but underneath those, the shadows, they do like adding those pencil strokes. And then behind those pencil strokes is like one sort of color, right? Pretty cool. This one's kind of hot. Reminds me a little bit of who's the demon? Darling the Franks, 02, just because of the horns. Darling. Right, so I think the new change I guess they did to their style was adding like a bunch of hues. But yeah, so I guess that's enough talking for this artist, or of this artist. I do recommend you scroll further. Oh my god, because you will see way more of their awesome fucking work. So highly recommend. Hopefully you check out their work, and I will link this page, by the way, in the description below. Oh, they also have like an imprint, so check out their print store, buy their stuff. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.